What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, like one of the previous videos I put out, we unboxed the switch panel. Today we're going to be installing it. Pretty straightforward, at least I hope anyways. But before we start the install, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to start with is what I think is the most difficult, and that's going to be fishing the switch wire through the firewall into the cab. So I'm going to use a screwdriver and some electrical tape and take that wire and try to see if I can push it through. I might have to push it through out of the cab into the engine bay, but we're going to do that first because I think once that's done, it'll be pretty straightforward. So we're going to go ahead and get all this situated. Also, you guys need to check out this work light right here. There's 3 different settings where you can use 1 bulb or 2 bulbs. It lights up the area. I'll link those in the description as well as the switch panel. But definitely get you one of those. So that's going to go over here somewhere, and the wire we're looking for is going to be this wire. So this is the part that needs to stay in the cab because it's going to hook into our switch wire right there. So this part will be in the cab, this one will be in the engine bay. So I'm going to tape this up and see if we can't fish this to the grommet right there. Might be easier to do this end, it's a little smaller, and we'll just have to see how this goes. But hopefully this is hopefully this is easy enough to fish through there. This will be the hardest part, what I think anyways. And they give us plenty of wire to work with, so I just don't really know how to go about this because we have to fish it through there, and I'm not sure the hole that I currently have is quite big enough, but we're going to find out for sure. We'll have to get up under here and take these clips out and fish this through. And we're going to take my work light and put it down here, just because we can kind of aim it to where we need it to be, so we can kind of see under here. And so this lights up that area a whole lot more. And so yeah, there's this clip right here that we need to pull out, and this clip over here that we also need to pull out. And they should be pretty easy to just do that. And I actually have a clip tool. I'm gonna go get it. So I went and got the trusty pry tool. This will be the first time I use it, so we'll see if it was worth the $10 or whatever I spent on it. So we can get that. Okay. So there we have it. We have this down, and then yep, there it is, right there. There's the grommet that we need to go through, and we're going to go close to where that white wire already is, and we're going to use just a flathead screwdriver to get through there. Might have to cut a bigger hole, and I think I put my screwdriver right here. So we might actually have to cut a bigger hole. Probably gonna have to do that. Might have to use a drill bit maybe. We're gonna try a knife and see. We're gonna try a knife first and see if that works. So this is what I meant when I said this was the hardest part because we're gonna have to see if I can scoot the seat back. We're gonna have to take this knife and cut out around there, and I don't want to cut the pre-existing wire, so I'm gonna put you guys down real quick and we're gonna get this cut down here real quick. Okay, I might have to get a drill. A drill might be worth it. And we're going to start with a smaller drill bit, kind of smaller. We're going to go with a 1/4, and then we will work up from there as needed. We're going to shove the screwdriver in to make sure that we got through in a good spot. And so if we come around here, if we grab this light, we come around here, that should be a decent enough spot to send the wire through. So that's what we're going to do. With this wire being with this tip being the more narrow, we might just go ahead and leave the screwdriver in there, tape it to that side, and pull it through and do it that way. And I do have a mic coming in, so these videos, the sound will be a little bit better. You guys will be able to hear me a little better, so there will be that. Yeah, getting down there to take that up is going to be. Oh, we might have to come from the other side. Man, I don't really want to. I mean, I guess I can splice this back together if needed. I just didn't really want to. So let's just go ahead and grab the tape. And we're going to come back into the cab. This is definitely what I meant when I said that this was going to be the harder part. And make sure you do the right side, because you don't want to redo this again. So if you're going from the cab to the engine bay, this side is what you want to tape. If you're going from the engine bay to the cab, then you want this side. So we're going to wrap this around here a couple times, and then I'm going to make sure to tape this tip up good, just because I don't want to risk breaking it and having to redo this or anything like that. So we're going to tape this up pretty good. Try to make it as dynamic as possible to send through there. Might put some oil on here to lube it up and send it through. Use however much tape you guys want. I'm using a shit ton of tape because I don't want this coming out, because this part really sucks. And I'm looking for my knife. Okay. So now, hopefully we don't risk breaking the tip of this, and we will see how this goes. I need my light. If this does not work, we'll probably have to use a bigger drill bit and make a slightly bigger hole. But I'm doing a smaller hole just so we can kind of keep the waterproofness of this, keep it as sealed as possible. And I don't think it worked. Nope, it did not work. Did not go through. So that's what I was afraid of. Okay. We might just have to figure out an alternative. This is what I was afraid of. So let's untape this, make sure everything's still intact. I knew this was going to be a pain. I just didn't know how much of a pain. And it looks like I'm going to have to, I bought extra heat seals, so I'm probably going to have to heat seal this. Okay. How are we going to do this? I really need to try to come from the other side with this, and we're just going to try to see if I can get my hands down here. We're probably going to get scratched up a little bit. But it'll be worth it not to ruin the wire if I can get it in this way. Okay. You guys should be able to see me from both angles now. We should be good to go, so we're going to try to get step stool for my short ass. I wonder if I taped it like this, I taped it like that around the screwdriver, maybe that would work. I'm not sure though. Convenient spot to get to. Oh shit. Oh, actually it just went in a whole lot easier that way. Have it coming in the inside yet. I wonder if I can take my knife here and kind of I see why people think it's worth it to just pay other people. But we're not doing that here. I'm going to pause my cameras real quick, and we will be back once I finally get this through. Guys, so I finally got the wire through the grommet, but at the expense of breaking my clip here. So we're gonna run up to Lowe's and see if they have it. If they don't have it, then we're gonna try out the auto parts store and see. But hopefully one of those stores will have it. So just be careful when you're doing that. Try to use the other end of the wire and not this end. I was afraid this was gonna happen. I tried to tape it the best I could, didn't save it. But we'll see if we can find one of these and fix the problem. All right, so Lowe's or the auto parts store didn't have that piece, which isn't surprising. So I bought a soldering kit instead, just a little $12 soldering kit and then some $6 solder. And we are going to do our best to fix this and see how it goes from there. But once I get this soldered up, we will continue with the install on the Auxbeam switch panel. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we've got this soldered. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and order another wire because I don't trust my soldering skills. But we're gonna hook the rest of this up and we're gonna see if it works. And honestly, I'm probably just gonna hook up the positive and negative real quick and just make sure the switch is still gonna work. So we're gonna do that real quick and see how this goes. and then I'll probably just order another wire to run through there, and hopefully I don't break the next one. And we're going to hook this into here. So I knew that was kind of going to happen. All my soldering was going to kind of mess that up a little bit. I was prepared for that. Okay. And now we need to pick a fuse that we want to use in here. So we've got all our fuses right here, and I think it was like 73. The arrow shutter, the 10 amp was one. You obviously don't want to use anything that has to do with the engine or anything like that. Looking for anything else. There's a spare 5 amp. We don't want to use that. We want it bigger than 5 amp. I think we could use the cargo lamp, possibly. Yeah, I think that that fuse 73 is really the only one that I would feel safe using, unless you go into the cab and you use one in there. So we're probably going to end up using the fuse 73, which is going to be located. Which way is this? Okay, so we're gonna go this way. Fudge. Okay, so here we're just gonna hook up the negative to the negative. I've got the breaker open on the Auxbeam fuse box. Once we have this hooked up, we'll plug in the switch and see if it powers on. Depending on how well my soldering was, it should work, hopefully. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I do plan to order another cable anyways, just because I'm not going to trust my soldering for the long run. But until that cable comes in, this will work, hopefully. And that's really, I don't have any lights to plug in yet. I got some lights coming in. I've got some bed lights we're going to install and some ditch lights. So I'm just going to kind of loosely tighten this because I'm going to reroute everything and organize everything all nice and neat. This one wasn't even tight. That's kind of scary. I didn't tighten that down, I guess. Okay, I don't know why all my GoPros switched to cameras. That's annoying. But what we're gonna do here is we're gonna kind of just set this up here, and we're gonna close the switch, and then we should come in here, and once I turn the accessory on, if my soldering went well, this should turn on. Okay, maybe the truck needs to be on. Let's see if the truck needs to be on for this to come on. Oh, there we go. But it looks like my soldering is kind of trash. So we're gonna get everything cleaned up and I'm gonna order another wire. But I'm gonna reroute all this and then I'll show you it all nice and clean and installed. And once we get that wire in, I'll show you everything, how it works and all that. But we're gonna stop the video and we're gonna skip ahead to when I get that new wire in. Okay guys, so we finally got everything hooked up. I had to change out of my Auxbeam shirt. It just got a little too warm. I still need to attach the breaker. But anyways, we've got everything hooked up. I'm gonna show you everything under the hood and then I'll show you the switch. And then I gotta turn the breaker on. I just kept the breaker off because I was still routing wires and stuff. So we got the flashlight here so we can kind of see it's night out. Had some trouble. We've got the fuse box mounted on top of the truck's fuse box. The fuse wire, we got it zip tied, and then we had to cut out a notch into the fuse box to tap into that fuse 73. And then here we had the switch wire, which is routed there, going down into the boot. I did order a replacement, but for now my soldering job seems to be holding up. My flashlights, all my flashlights are dying. But we've got the power coming out here routed to the breaker, which I'm going to use some 3M tape or maybe just drill into the top of there. And it's routed here. And then we have the negative routed out and under here, going to the negative side of the battery. And I went ahead and changed this relay out to a fused relay and got rid of my inline fuses just to clean everything up. And one of you guys recommended the plastic on here, so I got some of that to kind of tie up the wires a little bit better. It does look a lot nicer through there, a little more factory. But we've got that done, and I'll show you in the cab. Definitely made a mess, but we've got everything back up. I've got some tape right there. I need to pull that off. I don't know where that tape came from. Don't know where I just pulled it off of either. But anyways, we've got all this pushed back up. And then we've got the switch wire running under the console. And then I've got it running out of the console, through the console, up through here, and just temporarily, it's kind of just sitting right here. I want to 3D print something to where it will kind of stay there a little more permanently because I don't have the wireless charger in this truck. So I kind of want it to sit there, possibly. But anyways, we've got it all wired up. My flashlight keeps dying, but I'll show you guys. It does work. I think earlier when I thought my soldering job was, when I thought my soldering job was janky, I think I just had a loose connection somewhere. Because now, once I fire the truck up, it should be, yep, there we go. It fires right up, and I can hit the buttons. And everything is hooked up. My light bar is hooked back up with the aux switch. But I'm gonna get the app out and change some colors on this. And then if I shut the engine off, it takes a second for like the fans to kick off. This should turn off with the fans. You can see it's still pulling some power. It's like flashing a little bit because it doesn't have the full power from the engine. And then you should hear the fan click off. where the vents close, and then this will kick off. Yep, there it goes. So that's not drawing any power, so we're good on that. But that's it. I mean, I'll show, once we get some lights hooked up, I'll show you guys features of that switch that make it cool and you know, a lot better than some of these other ones out there. I will definitely show you that. We do actually, in one of these boxes right here, we already have some lights that we are going to hook up to it, and they are going in this vicinity over here, and we have some ditch lights coming in tomorrow. I say ditch lights, they're 5-inch lights. I might temporarily put them up here as ditch lights, but might get smaller ones later and move the bigger ones somewhere else. Maybe get like a push bar and put them there or something. But that's the install of the Auxbeam switch. The biggest difficulty I had with installing the switch was getting it through the firewall. As you guys saw in the video, I broke the 8-pin connector off. I do have a replacement on the way. It'll be here in a couple days. I ended up getting a soldering kit just to temporarily have this hooked up, just so I can show you guys how everything connects and how it connects and how it powers on and everything. But once that new cable comes in, I'll just swap those out. It should be pretty simple. I'll attach the new cable, I'll tape it to this and just pull the old cable through, and the new cable should come through with it, hopefully. But that's about it. Like and subscribe, and you know, help me out for the struggles I had placing this stuff in. I've never done this stuff before. That was like maybe my second time ever soldering something, and it seems to be holding up and working, so pretty happy about that. But yeah, like and subscribe. That's it for this video. We got a couple more installs coming in. We'll put the ditch lights in, we'll hook those up to the Auxbeam switch. We've got some other lights that are going to the rear of the truck that we're going to hook up to the Auxbeam switch. I've got 8 switches, so you know, I might utilize them with some interior lighting. I don't know yet. Don't know all what I'm going to use them for, but we have them. They're there. It's mounted right here, which is like the best spot that I could find. So I will see you guys in the next video.